But what about this epsilon delta argument? Now let's assume that there is a limit. Okay, so the function has got a limit of L. Okay, function has got the limit of L. So according to our definition, this will be less than epsilon. It will be less than epsilon. Now let's choose some epsilon. It's your desire. Now let's take our epsilon to be 1 by 3. Okay. So assuming that there is a limit, the function deviates from the limit by 1 by 3. 1 by 3 is the epsilon. Now, can we get a corresponding delta? No, we cannot. Or we should not. If there is not a limit, we should not get a delta. But how do you prove that? Okay, it's very simple. And now suppose you choose some x which is rational. So your function will become what? 1. And if you choose your x to be something which is irrational, the function will become 0. So first take irrational. So if you get function to be x to be irrational, the function becomes 0. Now 0 minus L is less than epsilon. And if by chance you get your x to be rational, then your function will become 1. So 1 minus L will be less than epsilon. So this will mean what? That L, because minus L, in the modulus it is L, L is less than epsilon, and this would mean that 1 minus L will be less than epsilon. Now epsilon is 1 by 3 and epsilon is 1 by 3. Now what kind of scenario is this? This L is less than 1 by 3. Take something, 1 by 4. 1 by 4 is less than 1 by 3. And then 1 by L is also less than 1 by 3. How is it possible? If you take L to be, let's say 1 by 4. Now 1 by 4 is less than 1 by 3. It's alright. But then 1 minus L is how much? That is 3 by 4. How can it also be less than 1 by 3? So if L is less than epsilon, 1 by L cannot be less than epsilon. So by applying this, because in this case, if I take my epsilon to be 1 by 3, then every time I get my functional values, it should deviate from the limit by 1 by 3. But for some values, it is true. For some values, it is not true. So we are getting some contradiction. So by applying the epsilon delta argument, we have proved that there is no limit. So we told you two cases with the epsilon delta argument that there is a limit, and another two cases when there is not a limit, and in the meantime we also define the definition of the limit. Now this is the conceptual framework behind the concept of limit.